I knew it. I just knew it. I knew when I finished that video and I just decided that the Packers weren't going to lose any games that I said that they weren't going to lose, that we would come out and have a performance like this. I just knew it. So awful. Just awful. For us to come out to start a season like that, it's ridiculous. I was going to go and do a full in-depth review of the game afterwards. I'm not doing that anymore. It's just about to be this rant. Have fun with it. It just came out flat. So flat. Flatter than a pancake on an all-you-can-eat buffet. Just unbelievably flat. I don't know if it was the distraction from the whole Aaron Rodgers saga and the offseason or just the lack of preseason reps. I just don't know what it was. We just came out so unbelievably flat. It's the worst that we've started off a season since 2014, which is the last time we lost our week 1 game, 2014 against Seattle. And they also kicked our butts that game. That's the last time we've come out this badly to start a season. And to lose a game like that, a very winnable game against a Saints team that had been ravaged by a hurricane, prayers up to those people over in Louisiana, had to move and practice in Dallas and play a game in Jacksonville, right? Essentially to have a home game taken away from them, their home field advantage, and for us to go out there and play that bad. There's just no excuse for that. There is no excuse for that. It's just poor. It's horrendous. There's no excuse for it. Aaron Rodgers was just, the offense just couldn't get going. There was no rhythm. The timing was off. Players couldn't get open. The offensive line couldn't hold up. Granted, we had a lot of turnover in the offensive line. Obviously, we lost Corey Linsley. We brought in Jason Myers from Ohio State. Got a new D coordinator on the defensive side. So there's a little bit of turnover. I kind of undersold that part of my preview, but there's a little bit more turnover than I personally gave account for, and I take accountability for that. That's on me. But there's no excuse to get pummeled 38-3 on the first week of the season. Like, I thought personally that Jameis Winston would have a good season, better season than most people think he would. But there's no reason Jameis Winston should be throwing 5 touchdown passes and be completing 70% of his passes with ease against us. It was just too easy. They were just running the ball down our throat, and every time we got the ball, we just gave it right back to them, which meant they could run it down our throat again and got our defense more and more tired. And we just gave them short field after short field after short field. Jameis Winston had, at a point, he had 93 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's ridiculous. That never happens. 93 yards and 4 touchdowns. It's unbelievable. The sort of performance we came out with. We got Detroit at home next week. You'd like to think that that's a given. You got Detroit next week on Monday night. You'd like to think that that's a given, but you just don't really know with this team now, especially with a performance like that. And even if we win that game, we have to travel all the way to San Fran, which is likely a loss, which means you start the season off 1-2. And you definitely don't want that, especially in the stacked NFC where 3 or 4 losses is probably going to determine the number 1 seed. And for us to have 2 losses in the first 3 games, that just can't happen. That San Francisco game has to be must win. We cannot leave out of there with a 1-2 record. Otherwise, we'll be in serious trouble. But man, this is going to be a tough week. I know Skip Bayless is going to rip Aaron Rodgers to shreds and the rest of the team, which, hey, he deserves it. I've kind of been the proponent that Aaron Rodgers kind of gets lit off a little bit easy by the media. Everyone's saying for the playoff losses, everyone's saying, it's the defense fault. The defense never gives him the ball. It's like Aaron Rodgers hasn't played up to his standard in every single playoff game, which kind of seems to get lost with these Aaron Rodgers apologists. But he just played bad today. He played bad. The interceptions he threw were terrible. He held on to the ball too long. He was forcing the ball in bad areas. Granted, receivers weren't really getting open, so how much can you really blame him for that? But the first interception he threw, man, was just bad. Devontae Adams was coming open over the middle. You could see the blitz coming, so you know you've got to get rid of it quickly. He doesn't get rid of it so quickly. He has to step up. There was an ill-advised pass under pressure. It's behind Devontae Adams. It gets intercepted. And instead of us cutting the lead down to 7, it's still 17-3. They get the ball back, and they just ran right from there. And his second interception, he was just trying to do too much, trying to fight MVS on a go route. Marcus Williams had him baited, thinking that he was going to Devontae Adams, which means the A-Rod thought the MVS would be 3. would be free. He wasn't free. Marcus Williams turned his hips on some Prime Ed Reed nonsense, flipped his hips and turned around, intercepted the ball. Great play by him. Nice to see that he's redeeming himself after that Minneapolis Miracle debacle a few years ago. So, good for him, obviously. But, just a tough day at the office. That's all there is to it. Just a tough day at the office. But we got a week. Got to fix up. But, that's all I'm going to care about the Packers for the next 6 days. 7 days, actually. Until next Monday night. But, tough way to start the season. But there's still 16 games left to go, as weird as it is to say. So, a lot of football left to be played. Let's focus up, fix up. We got a loss under our belts. We got a game under our belts. So, the game sharpness should be better, smoother, crisper against Detroit. So, let's just hope the boys come out to play. This is your boy signing off. It's a bit of a different video than the last one that you've seen. But, if I'm ever feeling like I'm not... This is probably what it's going to look like after a Packers loss. Me just carrying the camera, walking around. I'm not going to sit the camera down, analyze frame by frame. After Packers losses, this is pretty much what you're going to get. So get used to it. Anyway, that's me out of here. Catch y'all on the flip. Peace.